Good morning, everyone. I'm here. It's Brenda Quintana, and today I am going to share with you an adorable box for holding Dove chocolates. And I love the quality of Dove chocolates, and I love that they come in different colors. And this spring, they have this beautiful package of tulips and butterflies chocolates. And I thought we could take advantage of that. They come kind of in a turquoise color, kind of a purple color, and a gold color. So the three of these together just are so pretty. And so I created a little slider box that will house them, and you can put 9 of the Dove chocolates in there. And then I put a window on the top of the box so the beauty of the foil wrapping can show through. The really great thing about this box is it's highly adaptable because the front square is 3.5 by 3.5. So that means that you can die cut almost any shape into it. You could probably also punch something in the center. Depending on the reach, though, you might be better off die cutting, as I did. And this morning, one of my key ingredients, because I created across the Stitch Rectangles dies, they will be available in about a week and a half. They are so popular that they are out of stock right now. But the cool thing is right now, I'm going to show you another sample, and I'm going to post the photos of my second sample on my blog post after I finish shooting here, because I was just creating my second sample this morning as I realized the Stitch Rectangle dies were out of stock for another week and a half. But this box is just so sweet. I know you're going to want to make it for different occasions. So I will talk to you guys all afterwards. And if you have any questions while I'm creating, please chime in and post them as we go along, because I love to answer them live. And if you're watching this later on as a recording, then please know, just post something in the comments and I will answer your questions there. So as many of you know, I have a project sheet that goes with this video tutorial. And the way you get this project sheet is you need to be on my email list. And there's a link down below to get on my email list. It's free. And on Saturdays, I will send you a project sheet for this video so that you can use it along with the video to create your project. And some people, once they watch the video, you won't need to refer to it anymore, but at least you have the project sheet, which will have the dimensions. And it has also a handy little diagram for you so that you can follow along more easily and create this beautiful project. All right, I'm so glad you're here this morning with me. Let me switch over to my other camera. And I want to share with you my box and the key ingredients. Let me prop this up here. Okay, so here is the cute little box. Doesn't that look gorgeous? I mean, the cross and the happy Easter. Look at and the little iridescent rhinestone jewel. So cute, right? And then it's a slider box. So you just slide your chocolates out here. Now this box here is a double-walled box. So it's quite sturdy, and I like that. And then it's just so pretty, right? With the foil in the background like that. So think about Dove chocolates. Think about how you can adapt this box with different dies, with different colors of chocolates in the background. But I just love this little Easter one. And I'm going to show you an alternate at the end. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show it to you right now because I forget things. So because the Stitch Rectangles dies are out right now, what are they called? The Beautiful Shapes dies. I used them to create, slide this on, this little wreath. So one of the circle dies, I just used it to create this, and the biggest circle die and the one that's right next to it are used to create this garden green wreath. And I used the smaller, the inside circle, not the outside circle, to create the window, because this is framing the window right there. So that's an alternate for now. And I've been using the Beautiful Shapes dies now for a couple of weeks to make Easter baskets. So those of you who got that die set, it's available right now. But this is like the third project that I made with it. So you'll be happy to know that you can make a very sweet project with those dies as well. All right, I'm going to switch this back to this one. All right, let's talk about the supplies I use. Flowers of Friendship bundle. This bundle is, I should say, the bundle pricing is retiring, but the Flowers of Friendship and the Flowers and Leaves punch will be in the new catalog. But if you want to get them right now, you can still, when you buy the two of these together, you can save 10%. In May, these will be available individually, and you'll have to pay full price for them. Our punches are going up $1 in the new catalog, so that's a good incentive to get them now. I'm also using the double oval punch, and the double oval punch will be in the new catalog. It's carrying over, so that's great. But this is such a handy punch for greetings. I used it right here for the Happy Easter. It's right here on here as well. So it's a great punch. I sometimes use the two of them together, but today I found it was a little big for my project, so I just used the smaller of the two. This stamp set, Celebrating You, is in the Jan to June mini catalog, and it is carrying over. It is a fabulous set. That's why it's carrying over. You could, if you're adapting this box, there's a happy birthday on here, happy Mother's Day, there's a thank you, a congrats, a happy Father's Day, a happy anniversary, so many different greetings that you can use on this box to make it into something different. And this is the Stitched Rectangles dies. They will be available April 5th. Check back in the store. And I used two of those dies to create the cross on there. I think I've talked about all the major products. And of course, the Dove chocolates. This variety right now in the stores is really great for making this box. All right, are you ready to get started? We're gonna grab our Simply Scored scoring board, my favorite way to make boxes. We're going to need a piece of thick basic white cardstock. And let's tell you the dimensions on that. This is 5 7/16 by 5 7/16. That might be a hard measurements for some of you, and probably many years ago it would have been for me too. So let me tell you what that measurement actually means. It is that 5 7/16 inch mark is between 5 3/8 and 5 1/2. So if you find your 5 1/2 inch mark, just go a little bit in on both sides, but not all the way to 5 3/8, and then you should be perfect. All right, we are going to score this piece at the 1/2 inch mark and the 1 inch mark on all four sides. 1/2 and 1, 1/2 and 1, 1/2 and 1, and 1/2 and 1. Okay. Now we're going to grab my little scissors here, and we want to retain, we're going to cut away the 3. I'm going to put an X on them so you can see X, X, X. Those ones are going away, okay? just so we know. You can do this on yours too so you don't cut away the wrong ones. XXX, okay? So we're going to pick one side and we're going to start cutting up, okay? We want to retain that one, so let's cut away these 2 squares. And we'll cut away this square. Okay? And then this is a bit of a tab. Okay, so first I cut up. I want to keep cutting up on this same side, so let's cut up here because we want to create the tabs on the same sides. Then get rid of these guys. Get rid of this one. Okay. And then we'll do the same for the other side. Cut up to that second score intersection. Cut away these 2. And then we'll cut away this one. And since we cut up right here, we're going to cut up right here. Cut away right here. And cut here. All right. So there is our base box. And those little guys can go away. Okay, I want to make sure that I'm following along my instructions. Let's take this bone folder and we're going to fold in along the score lines. So normally when we create a box, we just do a single layer design, but with 9 Dove chocolates, that's quite a bit of weight to distribute. So to have the double walled sides really helps with the weight of the box so it isn't wonky. Okay, so let's bring these in, this in, this in, this in. Okay, so now we're going to find the side. That away. We're going to find the side right here that has these attached tabs, okay? And because we're going to glue this down first, and then this one's going to come in and tuck in like that. One other thing we can do, see these little guys, they're going to tuck in right here, and this is going to come crunching over the top. So what we can do is we can take this and we can, it's going to be tucking in here. So when this comes over top, it's going to be a little crunchy. So we're going to just angle cut just a little bit to help this process, this fold over process. So we can just angle cut. If you don't angle cut, it will work as well. So no worries. So you just want to make sure which side to angle cut. It will still work. It's just you're going to have to kind of press down a little bit and mold it a little bit to bring it over the top, but it will still work. So angle cuts are optional. Let me just kind of show you what that looks like, okay? All right, so the side that has the tabs attached to it, that's what you're going to use first, okay? So we're going to put some Tombow on this outermost segment. Fold it over, and sometimes it helps to grab your bone folder and just smooth over that fold, okay? And then we'll go to the opposite side and do the same thing. The little tabs are attached to that side, so make sure that's the right side. You don't want to do the other side yet because those are going to be your tucking sides. Bring this over, use your bone folder, press it down. Okay, so now these sides are going to come in like this, and you're going to glue and tuck over the top. So we're going to just put Tombow on this outermost side again. Tuck in these two with the little 2 tabs, tuck those in, and then bring this over the top, and then you're just going to press down. Make sure you have nice square corners and press down. Now when you're tucking this in, if you haven't angle cut those little tabs, you're going to find there's a little bit of a bulk of cardstock right there, so you're just going to smooth that down with your fingers and kind of mold it into place. Switch to the opposite side and put some Tombow right here. Now after you've done this, there is an option if you wanted to align the bottom of this piece with a piece of designer series paper. You could do that. If you want to do that, cut a square just under 3.5 by 3.5, because this base measures 3.5, so you'll want to go just a little bit under that. I'm not going to do that for this project because the Dove chocolates cover up a lot of it. The other thing, if you add a piece of cardstock or a designer series paper to the bottom, this will also help strengthen the box a little, even more than it's already strengthened, but it's got a little bit more stability now that we've got those double walled sides. It doesn't feel quite as wonky. All right. Next up, what are we gonna do? Okay, I think we'll just arrange some chocolates in here. We need 9 of them. So let's do a different pattern. I did purple. Do I have another blue one? Oh yes, good. I used some of these on another project, so I'm running a little low. And then let's see, will we put we'll put a purple one in the center and gold right here. If some of these sometimes have a bit of extra foil on the sides, so what you can do is just kind of press it down, because this box fits like just exactly the size that you need for the chocolates. So if you find any of them are kind of flipping out, have a look. They might have too much foil, and you can just kind of press it in a bit and it will settle down and then be flat. Okay. So that's waiting for a cover. So let's make a cover for it. I'm going to use Pool Party cardstock. Bring back in my Simply Scored. And I need my stylus tool. This piece measures 8.5 inches by 3.5 inches. 8.5 by 3.5. We're going to score at the 1/2 inch mark, the 4 inch mark, the 4.5 inch mark, and the 8 inch mark. Okay. So while we have this piece flat, you can see what it looks like. I'm going to hold it up to the light a bit. Okay, we're going to work on this big segment here. This is going to be our window segment. So I want to stamp a little bit on here. Alternatively, you could also put cut a piece of designer series paper to put just on this square before you die cut it. You could do that as well. I just recommend, have a look at this. You want the inside of the box to kind of shine through. So if you use a really heavily patterned paper with lots of colors, it might not pop this inside really well. That's why I went tone on tone. So if you had a piece of tone on tone paper, that would look nice, like something that wasn't too busy. You could put a square right there. But the Flowers of Friendship stamp set has this nice little line of flowers right here. And I thought that would look really great as a tone on tone pattern. So I'm taking my Pool Party ink pad, and this is Pool Party cardstock that we're stamping on. And this almost reaches all the way across. So I'm going to go a little bit towards one side and then a little bit towards the other side. And I'm just going to keep lining these up all the way to the top. Could also choose a big background stamp. Because this is going to be broken up by a window, don't worry if you're not 100% precise. the first one that I made, the one that I actually ended up in my photographs from my blog, it was a little bit imprecise. And you can look at it and see that it was that way. But it doesn't really detract from it. If we want, we can go off the edge here, but you know what? I think I'm just going to leave that. If I wanted to, I could take this and kind of go on the edge and go right to the edge, but I think it looks fine just like that. So we have a chalk marker, and what I did for these covers is you can probably see little white dots on there. So I went ahead and I did little white dots on all of these. Probably better, let's die cut first and then you can add the white dots. I had to kind of go over the white dots twice to get them to really pop a little bit, and I think it looks nice. The chalk marker is retiring, so and I think it's on sale right now, and it may sell out before everyone who wants one gets one. So just to keep that in mind, that one is retiring. All right, how did I make that cool little cross on the front? I am going to use my big die cutting machine on this. The reason being is my width is 3.5 inches, and that just overhangs a little bit on my mini cut and emboss. So we kind of need the big machine to do this one. So you're going to need your stamp and cut and emboss machine or another die cutting machine. I've got my base plate, my thin die adapter. I need a cutting plate on the bottom. I'm going to need this piece. We're going to use 2 of the dies here. I'll show you which ones, these 2. All right, so you know what helps really a lot with this is if you find the center mark, especially after you've stamped, it can fool the eye into thinking. So I'm using my centering ruler right here, but if you don't have a centering ruler, find the midpoint of the square. If you measure over from one of the score marks, it's 1 3/4 inches. I'm gonna just put a centering mark right here in the middle, and that way I know that that is the middle of my design. I like to stamp first because it's easier in a sense that you're not stamping over top of a hole, but if you didn't stamp first, then you probably could eyeball this piece and just not worry about it being making the centering mark. You just want this one centered. And then I'm just going to take a piece of this tape. It's Post-it note tape. And I'll just pin this down so that it stays in place. Let me show you this labeling and cover up tape. It's basically the sticky part of the Post-it note. Okay, so I'm going to shift this a little bit so that the the point of the die is going through first, because this is a big flat side. Always like to put in the point first. Let's put our thing to cover it up over top. And I'm just going to come back because I like to I like to die cut on this side, or you could go all the way through the machine, which is fine too. So let me release this, carefully pull it off, and then pull that off. And that's the first part of the cross. And then we'll take the second part and we're just going to kind of come down however far you think. It's kind of nice to hit the, at least not to, when you're coming in here, if you don't come down far enough, you're going to have more of the crack here showing. So if you come down just a little bit farther, you're going to be able to hit the top of that second row. And let's have a look. I think that looks good. Let's pin that down with some Post-it tape. A little bit of an angle. All right. And then we'll run that through. I'm going to come back. I'm a little worried about this corner hitting the machine as it goes through. Okay, let's pop these out. Carefully lift off the Post-it tape. And there is our beautiful, beautiful cross. Okay, we are done with die cutting. So the next thing you'll want to do before you do anything else, let's get this little window sheet in place. And this piece measures 3.5 inches, so the length of this, and then I went a little bit in on the other side, so I did 3 7/16, so just a little bit in from that 1/2 inch mark, because when you flip this over right here, actually we're going to use our bone photo. Let's fold all of this first very carefully. Fold. And then we'll do the side. All right. So because of these fold marks, this area right here is just a little bit less than 3.5 inches. So I'm just gonna double check which way this flows in. Okay, yes. So you just wanna make sure that this is gonna be able to make it into the slider cover. So you want to cut this length just a little bit under 3.5 and keep this length exactly 3.5. So for this, I'm actually going to use tear and tape because glue doesn't work very well right here with the window sheet. So I'm just going to run a line just to the inside of my score line on both sides of the cross. Okay, and then we'll remove this. I have no thumbnails today, none at all. There we go. I'm removing the liner. Actually, you know what? It's better if you only remove the liner on one side first. Okay, let's make sure that this is the right side. Okay. So we're going to line this up, window sheet right along that score line, not on top of it, just right next to it. Okay, and then we'll do the same for the other side. Let's remove this tear and tape liner and then press it all the way over and down. So the window sheet is great because it also gives stability to this piece, because once you die cut it, it's going to feel a little flimsy. So now this the Stampin' Up! Window sheet is really a nice sturdy window sheet, so it's really going to give your project stability. Okay, while we have this flat, let's go ahead and just pop some more of these little dots on here. And you know, another alternate, if you wanted, if you had this stamp set, instead of doing white dots, you could also take a darker marker and just make a little dark mark in the center. That would also be kind of tone on tone and just give a little bit more prominence to the center of the flowers. But you don't want to overwhelm it. You know, you still want it to be tone on tone. And with the chalk marker, I sometimes just like to go back over top of it, and then it gives it the brilliant white look. Isn't that cute? It looks cuter in person, right? When it's far away, you can't tell, but when it's close up, you can. All right, let's situate this over top of here. So it's better if this comes over top like this than this type of situation, because then you can kind of see the seam more. So I found it's better to wrap the covers when it's in place, because if you don't do that, you might make your cover a little bit too tight and it might not slide as nicely. So I like to bring this together, and then I'm going to put Tombow on this seam. Uh-oh, the chocolate slid a little bit. Come on. Put you back into place. All right. So now we're going to just kind of come over the top, line everything up, and then press down. Make sure it's even on the side, and this way you'll make sure that it's not super de-duper tight when you do that. Okay. Perfect. So now we're going to take some Pool Party ribbon. I like this ribbon. It's sheer, so it's not going to overwhelm your project. It's just the right amount of sheer, but it's going to give a little detail to it. Let's tie that first knot, and then let's see. I need my locking tweezers. Just going to lock right down on there. And then we'll come through, tie the knot, unlock, grab my ribbon scissors, and just add that onto there. This side ended up being a little longer. Okay. All right, so now we're going to add a greeting and some flowers. We're going to take a Highland Heather ink pad, the Happy Easter greeting from Celebrate You. This is a piece of basic white cardstock. Stamp that on there. Grab my double oval punch. Punch this out in the bottom right here. Could have gone a little bit skinnier with the basic white. Then you don't have little pieces coming at you like that. But this was a piece of scrap I had on hand, so I just grabbed it. Okay, so that will go on there in a moment. And then we need some flowers, or we need one flower. And I actually marked my little flower up. I put some little Sharpie right on the tips of this one, and that way I know which way to keep this flower up so it fits into the punch. So I'm just going to stamp this right on here, maybe right here. This is a piece of fresh freesia cardstock. Take my flowers and leaves punch, slide it in. I like using a really thin strip for my flower, just a little bit wider than my flower, so that I don't have too many paper shards coming out. All right, so for this little guy, we're going to take our bone folder and just curl up the little petals. Let's put this away so I don't stick my fingers in it. Put that away. All right, and then we're going to take an iridescent rhinestone. These are carrying over into the catalog, which I'm very happy about because I think they are one of my favorite ones. They just pick up the colors of anything really nicely because they just pick it up. It's so pretty. And then we'll take some dimensionals. I'm going to put one dimensional on the back of my Happy Easter and position it right in the center of the cross. This also makes it really easy if you use a dimensional to put it on there. You could use glue, but then you'd have to put it right on the tips of the cross where it indents there. And then you might get glue onto the window sheet, which wouldn't look very good. So a dimensional is perfect for that. And then I'll use a mini dimensional on the back of here. You could use a regular dimensional as well. It's wide enough, but you have to be careful with the positioning. So I'll just use a mini one to make it easy for myself. And then I can also twist it nicely and get it close to where I want it. And just add that onto there. So there is box one. Let's slide this one out and let's just show you this one. So they're made like the design of the wreath one is almost the same. Let me grab my dies. They are across the way. Let me bring these guys in for you. So to create this one, I used a piece of garden green cardstock, and I use this die. I actually went ahead and I cut this one out of garden green first, and then I took the piece that resulted and I stuck this circle right in the center and ran it through again to create the wreath. For this window piece, I ran it through with the smaller one, not the larger one, but the smaller one. If you ended up making a mistake and running it through with the larger one, it would still be okay. You'd have to just piece the wreath, make sure you turn it the right way. It's not quite, I don't think it's quite a perfect circle, or maybe that's an optical illusion. You would just piece the wreath into that the cut space so it would sit flush with the edge rather than popped up like it is here. But I used the smaller one to create the little window. I just made sure it was dead center when I ran it through. And then everything was created in the same way, the Happy Easter, same way. I popped this up on 2 dimensionals, and then these flowers here, I just did 3 of them instead of 1. So you can see both of these boxes are super cute, and you can make them in either way. Either way will work, or choose a different die for the window. You can do that as well. So those are the boxes, and I can't wait to see what you come up with putting these little Dove chocolates in there. I think you'll love how this box comes together, and it's not super hard. So let's come over to you guys. Hello. My hair got a little bit messy while I was doing that. If you love this video and you're not already one of my email list subscribers, I hope you will subscribe to my channel. Look for my little shirt down below, a little picture of me in the corner, or hit the subscribe button. And then also make sure you hit the notifications bell so you can get notified when I go live. All the supplies I talked about today are down below in the description of this video. They are also on my blog, and if you click over to my blog, it's a photo supply list, so I think sometimes that's a little bit helpful because I know many of you already have some of the supplies. Like you might not need a scoring board, you might not need a die cutting machine, so it has everything that you need. You can kind of just pick and choose what you want. I also have an add all to cart button, and I wanted to point out that like most people won't buy every single item that they need for this project. They might not be starting out from scratch, but what that add all cart button does is it puts everything into your cart, and then you can X out the things that you don't need. So if you need a lot, it's probably easier to do the add all to cart and then just take off what you don't want rather than individually putting everything into your card. So that is over on my blog, that button. So it just makes things a little bit easier for you. This month, my gift of the month, if you spend $50 with me using my host code. Oh, there we go. Let me grab up my host code real quick. There it is. For every 50 you spend, you are going to get a pack of my retired designer series paper that's been cut up into 6x6 squares, and it's been packaged really nicely into cellophane bags. And so these paper packs, they are all from the same paper grouping, so they will all coordinate together, all the pieces. They are you won't get the full pack, but you'll get at least 20 sheets from that pack, and usually it's more than 20 sheets, but 20 sheets is my very minimum I'll put in a pack. And people love these. I've got a lot of 6x6 projects on my blog. If you go to my blog and put 6x6 in the search bar, you'll come up with all of my 6x6 projects. But not only that, 6x6 paper is really nice to work with and cut into, because you're not scared that you're going to cut up a big piece of 12x12. It's just really nice to have on hand to create beautiful cards with, and 3D projects as well. All right, let me close this, turn that up. I'm going to leave my host code up there for a little bit longer. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Oh, and also, no matter how much you spend, as long as it's over $15, you will also get to pick a tutorial from my tutorials collection. And these are paid tutorials, and you can choose one free with your order. Okay, I hope you have some comments and questions for me. Let me have a look. Good morning, Ellie. Good morning, Vera Blue. Good morning, Birgit from Germany. How nice. Good morning, Deborah from Virginia. And Dee from Missouri, where the sun is shining brightly. That's awesome. Good morning, Martha. I'm glad you're here again. From Florida. Good morning, Maria from Mexico City. Oh, we're getting a few countries today. I love that. Good morning, Karen. And good morning, Gretchen from New York. Good morning, Amy from her hospital bed. Oh my gosh, I hope you're feeling better. I hated to hear that you were in the hospital. I truly hope that you won't have to spend too much longer there. Get well soon. Thank you, Karen. Karen said it was a gorgeous box. Ellie says she loves a slider box, so different. Pat said, finally I get to watch Alive, my lucky Friday. She says, you are amazing. Aw. She says, the Hershey Company should pay you for your great 3D products. Aw, thank you. Hershey's doesn't make Dove, though, so they might object to me using other chocolates. But you know what? I go to the grocery store, and I look at what is available on my shelf, and I see, these beautiful chocolates, these Dove chocolates that are almost gone because I've used almost every single last one. Oh, one just went flying on my projects, but I love these colors. They are just beautiful, like when that kind of comes together, and I think this just makes a really nice little Easter gift. These are also really easy to hand out. You know what? I wonder if they would also, I'm just going to grab one of our little clear envelopes. Let me grab one. I want to see if they fit inside or if it's too big. Let's see. I'm just curious. Oh, it's going to be a tight fit. Oh, it might work. Okay, I'm going to try this on camera now that I'm thinking it might work. So these are our clear envelopes, clear medium envelopes. They are in the catalog. I haven't put them on the supply list. Maybe I'll do that after here. So what you could do if you wanted to protect it even more, say you were handing these out like to a group or something like that. Okay, let's have a look. See, what you do is you put them in here, and then they're protected even more. You fold this over, and then there's an adhesive flap right there. You just tear off the liner, okay, and then you put that like that, and then you have it protected. So the cardstock, you know, maybe it's raining on Easter Sunday when you hand these out, or so maybe this is a great way to protect your little project so that it doesn't get wet, or, you know, people put their fingerprints on it and you want it to look nice still, then you can put it in these clear medium envelopes. So the item number I've torn off. Okay, there it is. 102619. I will add that to my supply list after this video is over. So just as an aside, I'm just thinking about how to protect things. Or, you know, okay, this is another thing. If you are making these for a craft fair, then you might want to protect them in a clear envelope too, right? To make them like really nice, so people will always want to touch things, and this way this will be all protected. It's like the perfect size. Okay, that was an aside. Good morning, Amy. So nice to see you. Okay. Oh, Pat asks, where did you find that yellow handy caddy? That's great to have on your work desk. Well, this little box is from stampyboxes.com, and it holds a bunch of different things. I've got room for my dimensionals. I've got room for my tear and tape, some adhesive. This box is made by a fellow Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and her name is Michelle Carter. So she 3D prints them, and so you can, isn't this cool? You can get them with your name on it, and there's different icons that you can choose. She's got a few to choose from. I think one of them is a coffee cup, but my team name is the Bee Stampers, so I've got my little bee on there, so that's kind of cute, right? All right. Vera Blue says the slider Easter boxes are beautiful, and I like how easy they are to make. Yes, this is an easy project. Dee said, so very cute. The cross is so sweet for Easter. Thank you. Martha says, I sure love the box and will be giving it a go. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad you're going to try that, Martha. And Dee liked the idea of putting the boxes in the protective envelope. That will be a great point for craft fairs. Yes, this is a great box, I think, for craft fairs, because you can definitely protect them, and just think of all the different ways you could decorate up this box. Choose a different die, choose different colors of Dove chocolates to put back there for whatever occasion that you want, and you can just decorate it up however you want. All right, guys, I'm so glad that some of you joined me this morning. Watch for my project sheet on Saturday. And if you are a new subscriber to my project sheets, know that you can get my past project sheets too. I send you a link out in the welcome email so that you can get those. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. I go live Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern on my Facebook page. That video gets posted later in the day on YouTube. And then I go live on YouTube every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to catch you at one of those videos. Take care. Bye-bye.